SoFi and stock market investors, welcome back to the channel. I know I've been on a little bit of a hiatus. I have another NFL channel that's been bogging me down for the last several months, but I've come across an incredible story about SoFi stock. They have hit a huge milestone that investors need to be aware of. And for me, it's like the second step of a 10-step journey for them as we get higher and higher with our stock price. Make sure you stick around for the video where I'm going to reveal a huge milestone that SoFi just crushed right through. All right, all my SoFi investors out there, just to be transparent, I do own over 5,000 shares of SoFi stock. I just wanted to be clear with you guys as we move forward. If you take a look at your screen right now, a nice day, up around 3% today. Over the last 6 months, up over 111% for SoFi, down in the $13 range. And we've, hit up over $30 per share. We had a little bit of a sell-off and hit under 25. Seems like a good opportunity to buy for me, right? $32 down to 25, down 20%, right? Anything under 10% I don't really want to buy, but over 10% I'm definitely a buyer of SoFi stock. If we go on a dip, year to date up over 100%. If we take a look at this five-year chart, down to $5 per share, up over 400% since those dog days there. But what I want to share with you guys today is a huge milestone for SoFi stock. And if you love SoFi stock and want more updates, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel here, guys. Here we are today. Institutional shares crossed over 671 million shares by institutions. And the big milestone right here, guys, that I'm highlighting on your screen right now, 55% of shares are owned by institutions. That is an incredible number for investors. We really want to hit that 50% range. And we blew the doors past that, and now we're up over 55%. And I'm thinking by the end of next year, 2026, we'll easily clear 60, maybe even 65% shares owned by institutions. That's going to give us a little more stability with the stock and not be so, normal people driven, right? So these investors that aren't institutions are a little more fair weather than other investors, right? These retail investors will be in and out of the stock, but most institutions are here for the long term. If we take a look at this chart, since June of 2023, we've seen a huge increase. We are right around 300,000 shares owned by institutions, and today we're up over 650,000 shares owned by institutions, right? So here we're almost doubled up in 2 years, a little over 2 years in institutional ownership, guys. And that's why we've seen a dramatic increase in the share price. It was around $17 and now we're up over 30. It's not a coincidence that we see the stock price go up parabolically with institutional ownership. The same thing happened with Palantir. And as we get more institutions owning this stock, the stock price will be stable and continue to go up quarter after quarter, in my opinion. I think a lot of these big banks are like, if you can't beat them, join them type of situation. And I'm going to show you guys who is actually owning SoFi stock. So over here on Simply Wall Street, I'm not affiliated with them at all whatsoever, but we can see earnings grew 247% over the past year. Earnings are forecast to grow 23.29% per year. And if we can get that in stock returns, that's going to be some serious cash, and we're going to beat the S&P 500 year in and year out if the stock price can grow along with this earnings forecast. If we go down to ownership, we could see who's really buying this stock with the insider ownership. Not too many insiders are buying at these levels, right? But we can see that this was last updated a little while back. They only have the institutions at 639 million shares, and this is reading at 53%, but Fintel is a little more accurate, as we could see here at 55%, a little more recent. But still, the general public down to 45%, and over time, we've seen that the institution bar is far outweighing the general public, right? And that's a great sign for the health of this company and this stock moving forward for investors, right? Vanguard owns 8.8% of the company, over 100 million shares. That is crazy amount of shares for this company, right? And then BlackRock, JP Morgan are right there nipping at their heels. BlackRock was 62 million and JP Morgan closing in on 40 million shares, right? So between those three companies, they own about 15% of the overall outstanding shares, right? And then we could see some other companies like State Street Global, D.E. Shaw, Anthony Noto, still a big owner, about 1% of the company, right? Bank of America, they did trim their position, which is a little interesting because if you take a look at these green numbers here, we could see that percentage change. BlackRock, Vanguard, JP Morgan has been buying a shit load of SoFi stock, guys, a ton by JP Morgan, right? And it's not all rainbows and sunshine, right? UBS, Bank of America, Volo Ridge, they've all trimmed their position, right? But more green than red is a good thing, right? Millennium Management, Northern Trust, Amova Asset Management, all increasing their shares in SoFi stock. Charles Schwab did a little bit of a trim, down 16%. Same thing with Wells Fargo, 18%, but I don't really trust anything Wells Fargo does. They're a really shady bank, in my opinion. But these big dogs keep buying. And when Vanguard already owns 100 million shares of SoFi, increasing by 6.8%, that's a lot of shares, guys. You know, it's another 6 million shares added to their overall position, and I love that moving forward, right? And if institutions continue to buy, as I will do the same. I'm really excited about what SoFi is doing moving forward, and I think we're in a position of power right now, guys. I love that we are closing in on 700 million shares owned by institutions, right? I don't like that, you know, the outstanding shares continue to grow for SoFi. They are diluting shareholders. So we have to keep an eye on that moving forward. But for me, 1,200 institutions own the stock. 28 are short only, so that's a really good position of power as well. And we can just see there's a faint line here with the stock price, but we've seen the institutional ownership and stock price go up congruently, right? And that's where we're at right now. And that's why SoFi has been having a tremendous year, guys. What an incredible year for shareholders, up over 100% year to date. And, you know, since the doldrums in 2023 at $5, we're up 465%. Clap it up if you are a SoFi shareholder, guys. I proudly own well over 5,000 shares. We're actually closing in on 6,000 shares owned. I'm really excited what's going on with SoFi stock. And don't let the short-term bullshit make you sell your shares. Because if you got nervous over the last month and sold your shares from 32 down to, 25, that's a 20% move down. That's a buying opportunity. What I'm doing with my shares right now is selling cash secured puts in that $25 range, right? If that's $25 or below, I am a buyer of SoFi stock. Right now, with the PE ratio at 51, if we're 20% lower, 10% would be at the 46 range, 20% would be around 40. I could stomach buying SoFi in the 40 PE range. 50 is a little high for me. So I'm holding my shares. I'm selling covered calls and cash secured puts to make a little cash on the downside and the upside. Let me know in the comments down below, what are you doing with your SoFi shares? Thank you guys so much for being a part of this channel, and I would appreciate you guys subscribing. We're closing in on 4,000 subscribers. It's a little baby channel. I'm going to focus more time and energy on this channel moving forward to help you guys out with all your investing needs. Thank you guys so much. Peace.